Working on a new project, doing a shiplap wall for the guest home. Okie dokie. Hey guys, working on a new project. I'm actually taking a little hiatus from the house for a second and doing a shiplap wall for the guest home. So I'm going to be working on that, and went and got some lumber from McCoy's. They delivered it, and I'm going to be ripping it down. So I got some 3/8 inch plywood. I've done this actually at another house I had in the past, and it worked out really well. It was kind of before it was the popular thing to do for plywood, but we're going to be doing it again and kind of show you that project throughout this. So let's get to ripping this wood. I think that's all I'm going to work on this evening. I ended up taking the sander. I wanted to get a couple of them sanded and just kind of see how it's going to turn out. So I'm going to keep working on that tomorrow, but it's going to turn out good. So what I did last time and what I'm doing this time as well is taking the orbital sander, and I'm just taking the edge off the side so it matches up. There's a little more depth to it. And then what I like to do, I got the CD grade, which comes with a smooth side and a rough side. And what I like to do is, if the smooth side works and there's not too many knots on it, I'll sand it down just enough to get some of the burrs and everything out, and then I'll put that bevel on the side, and everything matches up when I put the boards on. And I'll kind of explain that again when I actually install the boards, but that's what I have to do. So I'll be working on sanding these tomorrow, and then I've got I'm going to decide if I'm going to do a whitewash on it, or if I'm actually going to just straight up paint it and go from there. So kind of show you the actual project that we're going to be working on here, and kind of the blank wall right now, and what the other portion is going to end up being. So that's all for tonight until I pick it up tomorrow. Hey, I'm back. All right, so we're going to be working on this evening and finishing it up. So we're going to get the sanding done and all wrapped up. And then in the daylight, we'll be working on getting all the cuts. And I think what I'm going to end up doing, last time I did it, I pre-painted it and put it on, but then I had touch up and all that stuff. And also it was a whitewash, so there wasn't a ton of touch up, but this time I think it's going to actually get painted. So I think that I will end up installing it and then painting it. And that way it will fill in where it meets and hopefully give a little better coverage. I'm going to go back with, and you'll see when I get there, but I'm going to go back with the same paint color that the guest house is, for two reasons. One, it's white and it will look nice, but two, then I can just get one paint to do the touch-ups that have been created in the house that I need to do. Yeah, again, little detour on the main house, but it's kind of a fun project to get to work on and give a little facelift to this thing. So let's get to it. I am officially halfway done. Actually, a little more because I have some other sanded, but I'm going to change out the sandpaper and finish it up. Okie dokie. Got them all done. That might be the most boring part of this, is just the sanding and everything that goes on with it. But that extra step just makes it that much nicer on the end result with it. So things I would do, things I would change. This is kind of a dry run for the back house. So I kind of wanted to work out some kinks with doing this wall in the guest house, so I could kind of play around with some ideas before I get to the main house here. So a belt sander would make it go quicker, and that might be something that I look into doing. I don't know. So we went, what did we go? I think 8 inches, just shy of 8 inches on this, so we could get the most out of the board. I think I'd still do that. I would be interested to see what a, let's see, 48, so like a 6-inch reveal would be on the board. Another thing is wear a mask when you're doing this. The other thing I do, so belt sander, wear a mask, maybe use a thicker grit. I was using an 80 grit for it, and I think a 60 would be better. It'd be quicker. You're going for a rougher look, at least for me, so that would not be a bad thing. So I think that's it for tonight. And next time you see this wood, it's going to be being installed, and that will be the fun part. So I'll explain that process when we get to it here. So, all right, so we got a daytime project here. And it's nice having some sunlight instead of having to have lights and everything. Went to Harbor Freight, kind of testing out some of this stuff. Harbor Freight, I like Harbor Freight. I know there's going to be a lot of hate for it, and I know that it's not a Milwaukee or a Makita or DeWalt, but I mean, you've seen what I've been using. Ryobi does a great job on what it's supposed to do, and that's screw stuff in and saw stuff. And I will say the best saws I ever used were Makitas. I do like them for the skill saws. I picked up a siding gun from Harbor Freight. It was about a third of the price. It was on clearance too, which was great. So about a third of the price of what I had going on over at Home Depot and a couple of the other stores I went to. And I don't quite need it, but I will need it eventually. So just getting some tools for the project. So let me get those and load this wood up. I'll show you what we have going on. All right, got it all set up here. I'll kind of show you what I have going on in the inside. Let's take a look at the project. Welcome to the guest house. This has gotten its own little full remodel of everything. This wall right here is going to be the project wall. All right, so this wall is going to be one of the accent walls. And then right here will be the other. save this, but I had a couple other projects I wanted to kind of use it for some scrap stuff of actually using it for the batten strips along that wall, putting one in between. When they nailed it, put about 10,000 nails on these things. So I was like, okay, I can take an hour to get this off, or I'll just get other strips, and then my time is worth something. So you can tell with this, it's just cardboard. So that's the frustrating thing with mobile homes, is that they use subpar material, and it is an upgrade from where an RV would be, but you just have to go back with a better material when you're doing stuff. So let's get back to it. I'm going to be doing is a staggered look. There's one called a zipper where you'll go every other one. It's easier to do that, but I like the way that the staggered looks, and so that's what we're going to be running with. Alrighty, so I am going to cut out the outlet real quick here. I'll show you in a second. These are mobile home boxes, so it's kind of like a construction box from the standpoint of a renovation box for the electric boxes. A little different because it's kind of all together, but it's got a little flange that goes in and out for it. So I'm going to cut this out and then have a good base to be able to screw that back into. I ended up doing something a little different. I did kind of a little bit of a hybrid. Instead of doing the zipper, so the zipper would be essentially going here, 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 down. I did stagger it, but I did want to keep a little bit of uniformity because I was working on 16 center from this direction. So my 8-foot boards ended up being able to go full length this way. It just had less cuts, and I think it actually turned out pretty good. I did do something a little different this time that the last time I did it, everything was a lot more uniform, and this one I wanted to actually have a little bit of character to it. So some areas have wider gaps than others, have a little tighter, and I didn't care as much this time because once it's painted, that will actually give a little bit more of a dimensional look to it. All right, I think on this one, it's small enough. I think I'm going to just, it was that easy. So we're gonna prime it and hopefully paint it tonight as well and get it all finished up so I can move forward to the next project here. But let's get to it. right, so I think you're getting the idea of the primer and painting, and you really want to see painting process, or you want to see it just done. So let's go ahead and, I don't know, I'm liking that snap your fingers and it's done thing. So let's go 3, 2, 1. I wanted to get the guitars up and just get them out of the closet, and a little easier to get out and play, and really everything we're doing is a prototype for what we want to do in the other house. And kind of trying out some different little techniques that we'll use over there, and would rather mess up on this place than over there. And this was a happy non-mistake. It actually turned out really nice. So let's show you this other wall. This wall over here, and turned out really sharp. The two walls are kind of the feel that we're going for at this other house. Rustic, not really farmhouse, not really lake house, just kind of our own bent on doing some rustic western. Hey guys, thanks for watching. It turned out good, if I say so myself. It's what I wanted. When we get to the other house, and this is kind of a precursor to some things that I want to do over there with this. I don't want it to be the farmhouse feel. So I'm trying to get away from that sterile white look that is kind of that mainstream farmhouse, and kind of get back to a little bit of a rustic western, I guess even almost true farmhouse, of old school farmhouse with it for a lot of things. And I think this kind of in ways achieved that. Of course there's some newer elements to it, but you know, through the process of this one, I've learned even better ways and quicker ways to be able to do this project for when it's a little more of a mass produced with a lot more square footage that we'll be doing. Again, thanks for watching. Thanks for being there with us and supporting the channel. You're watching these videos kind of encourages process, and encourages. There's a lot of downtime when you're doing insulation and doing a lot of just not fun stuff. It at least gives a little bit of a creative bent to be able to do something with a non-creative event. So thanks for watching. Thanks for being there. Until the next video, have a good one, and we'll see you then.